lesson 2-8, which is on scientific notation. So, scientific notation is the product of a number between 1 and 10 and a power of 10. So, and anyway, it basically means that you can take any number, really big or really small, and make it a number that's between 1 and 10. So you're only going to have a whole number between 1 and 10. So 7.5 times 10 to the 12th, or 3.2 times 10 to the negative third. Anything that has a positive exponent is a really big number. Anything with a negative exponent is a really small number. So that can help you when you are thinking of which way to go. To write in scientific notation, move the decimal left or right until the whole number is between 1 and 10. Then write 10 to the whatever number is going to go in here, and write how many spaces you had to move it. If you moved it left, it is a positive exponent, and if you moved it to the right, it will be negative. Your check for that is, remember what I said, that big numbers have a positive exponent and small numbers have a negative exponent. So if I'm starting with a really small number, then it's going to be a negative exponent. If I'm starting with a really big number, then it's going to be a positive exponent. Okay, so let's look at an example. So we have 384,000. So here's my decimal right now. I want to move it till it's right here between where there's only one whole number. Okay, between these two numbers. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Then I'm going to write it with my decimal place there, 3.84. I don't need to write all the zeros. And then I'm going to write times 10. I always write times 10. And then I give it to the exponent of however many spaces I did. So I moved it 5 spaces. And since I moved it to the left, it's going to be positive. Or since I started with such a big number, I know that it's going to be positive. Let's look at this one. So I have 0.042. So I'm going to move it 1, 2 spaces, so that way it's between the 4 and the 2. And that's going to give me 4.2. I'm going to multiply it times 10 to the, I moved it 2 spaces, so second exponent. And then I'm going to make it negative because I went to the right, and I can check that by knowing that this was a very small number. It was less than 0. Now let's talk about how to go backwards. To write in standard form, you're going to move the decimal, the number of the exponent, right if it is positive and left if it is negative. Remember the same trick. Big numbers have a positive exponent, so your ending number should be really big if it started with a positive exponent. Here I have 2.3 times 10 to the 8th. That means I'm going to move my decimal place 8 spaces to make this number really, really big, which means I'm going to go to the right. So 1, and then how many more spaces would I have to move it? 7 more spaces, so there's going to be 7 more zeros. So we did here, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spaces. Then I'm going to go in and add my commas. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. And my final answer is 230 million. Okay, what about this one? 6.2 times 10 to the negative 4. So now, since this is a negative exponent, I know my answer is going to be really, really small. So I'm going to be moving 4 decimal spaces, and I'm going to move it in a direction that makes my number small, which is to the left. I'm going to go 4 decimal spaces this way. So I started right here, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. And that is my final answer. Let's look at a few more examples. So write in scientific notation. Here's where my decimal is. Okay, I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces to make this 1.428 times 10 to the, how many spaces did I move it? Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. My number started out very big, so I know my exponent will be positive, and I moved to the left. What about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. I went 4 spaces that way. So my answer will be 3.2 times 10 to the negative 4th. I can check that I went to the right and look how small that starting number was. What about some practice going to standard form? So we want to move it 10 spaces and I want my number to be big. So I'm going to bring my decimal 10 spaces this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to add 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros to the end of this. All right, what about this one? So this number, I know it's going to be really small because it has a negative exponent, and I'm going to move it 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So my answer will be 0.00486. There you go. I hope you feel comfortable with it. Go ahead and get to work.